Hello. So the question today is who made God? The age-old question. And as I have been talking about the law of causality, it shows that we all understand that everything needs a cause. As far as we can tell, things need a cause, and it's natural that we are looking for a cause for everything. But the question is why God doesn't need a cause, because many misunderstand the law of causality. It doesn't say that everything needs a cause. It says that whatever begins to exist needs a cause. There are pre-existing parameters. There are pre-existing conditions that have to exist before something comes into existence. So it's not illogical. It's not impossible to say that God didn't need a beginning, because if he never had a cause, then he never needed to be made. But someone can ask the question that, so if the God is eternal, why isn't the universe eternal? But see, as I have been talking about it, it doesn't look like the universe is eternal. In fact, it looks like it has been made. It did have an existence. And the other thing is, although it logically could be possible for the universe to be eternal, it doesn't mean that it's actually possible. And the reason is, just because something is logically possible, if the premises are false, then the conclusion, although logically fine, it could still be false. And the other thing is, so if the universe had a cause, what's that first cause like? And actually you can answer the question without looking at any religious text, because it has to be self-existence. It has to exist outside of time, space and matter, because if time, space and matter came into existence at the same time, then whatever existed before this has to be timeless, spaceless and eternal. It has to be extremely powerful to be able to create the universe out of nothing. It has to be extremely intelligent to be able to fine-tune the universe, of which I'm going to still talk about. It has that force, whatever created the universe, has to be personal to be able to make a conscious choice to create the universe as opposed to not create it. Because if you think about it, if there existed an extremely powerful, timeless, spaceless, eternal force, but if it wasn't personal, if it was an impersonal force, then how could it choose to create the universe? How could it fine-tune it for life, if you were? And see, these attributes, incidentally, are the attributes that religious people attribute to God. And if you think about it, these are still not based on any religious dogma. These are not based on any religious text. And the reason we come to this conclusion, not because we don't understand something and we use the God of the gaps argument, as many atheists like to charge Christians, saying that, the reason you're saying this because you don't understand something. And that's what they call the God of the gaps argument. But if you think about it, these people come into this conclusion because they understand something. These are deductive arguments. They deduce that this is to be the case based on the available evidence. And the other thing is, negative infinity is another problem, because if God had been created, whatever created God, that thing had to have been created, and so on ad infinitum. And if you think about it, it's impossible for negative infinity to exist, because before today there had to have been an infinite number of events. And it's just not possible, because if there had been an infinite number of events before today, how could you ever arrive to the present? You know when your birthday was, and you know if you get into a time machine, theoretically speaking, you know exactly how many days, hours, minutes, seconds you would have to travel back to get to your the point when you were born. But if you were to travel back into infinity, you would never get to anywhere. You could just keep traveling forever and you would still not get anywhere. And then imagine trying to turn back. You would die even before you reach your destination because you could travel forever. That is why they say that the universe cannot be eternal. Time, space, and matter had to exist, although there are philosophical discussions about what sort of time existed before God created heavens and the earth and time, space, and matter. But that's an entirely different discussion. Ciao.